Like, every time it comes on, we just laugh. I don't know if
Right.
there's a reason for us laughing, but we just laugh.
Laughing through another weekend, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Laughing through another wet, wild, and crazy weekend. And we're not talking about
A
all
water
the fun
park.
part. Yeah. Not talking about water parks, nothing like that.
Right.
Welcome to Conversating, Conversing, and Relating. I'm your host, Coach Jay Hughes, here
April Autumn
with
here.
lovely April, my wife, and the other host of this show.
You always say I'm the host. I'm like, we're the host.
We're the host. I got it. I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna
Okay,
change it.
then. Whatever.
I'm gonna change it. We're the host.
We're the host.
We're the host of the show.
Take two. We're the host.
And we can't. We're live. We can't do take two.
I know.
Can we do take two?
In my head, take two. Anyway, that would be take three. But anyway, so welcome to Conversating, Conversing, and Relating. Jay Hughes, April Autumn here. It's so wonderful to see you all, to have another Sunday to talk about important topics. Yeah.
Very important topics.
Yeah.
Very important topics.
How was your week?
It was long.
It was long?
Yeah, I'm emotionally tired. I'm emotionally tired.
Are you spent?
Is that how guys do it? That's how women do it.
No, I was saying me.
Oh, okay.
Like,
yeah.
Spent.
Are you spent?
I am actually not. I mean, it was a lot this week. I will say that. But I'm good. I'm getting recharged to do another week. I have class tomorrow. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
But it's going to be
a long one.
Yes. What about you? Besides being emotionally spent already.
I got class.
You do have class.
We're starting to pick up work a little bit.
You are.
This week had hands.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Era. Okay.
We had some hands on it. I do agree on that one.
It did.
No, I got class, and it's going good. It's biology. Like, I don't know what I need that for.
You need to talk to
therapy or whatever the case may be, but it's going good.
Okay.
Just long, gloomy.
It's been so gloomy and rainy and wet.
Yeah. That's what makes me emotionally drained. The rain doesn't do it for me. It makes me want to go to sleep.
It makes for a very long week where you're just inside.
Look,
Sierra loves biology. You might need to have a conversation with Cece.
Cece, come do my homework, girl.
I didn't say that.
I'm going to give you my login credentials.
I did not say
Go on, knock this out for you, boy.
He did not say that. That is not. No.
Go ahead and do it.
We are not doing that.
I'm just saying, if I need it. You got flowers.
I do.
You do.
I do.
They're all pink.
They're beautiful. They're absolutely gorgeous. And my husband, who insists on continuing to date me, got them for me. And I love it. I absolutely love. Please, because I continue to date you. So please, continue in your dating.
I don't get flowers. I get steaks.
You do.
Yeah.
And other things, like I bought you a case for your iPad.
Yeah, but I like steaks. I like the steaks. Because you make them so good. You make the steaks so good.
Thanks.
So you keep showering me with steaks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I love steaks. I love a good steak with lots of butter.
Garlic butter. Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
So today is
Sunday.
It's Sunday, but it's gonna be a little bit of a different topic, a different vibe. Last week we had the get to know your host. All right.
We were in the hot seat.
You were actually in North Carolina.
I was. It was very interesting. The split
screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was here.
Yes.
And we were doing our thing.
Yep.
Right. Now we have requests for dating advice.
Yeah, a lot of people were like, oh, okay, so how did that work for you? And why was that this? And how did that? And what?
Yeah.
And had a lot of questions, which we were fine with questions. I think we're really open about like our relationship, what's happened between the two of us. how we share about past relationships.
Yeah.
This week has been a lot about past relationships and talking a lot about past relationships and how they molded and shaped us into the people that we are today. So yeah, it's interesting. But from that conversation last week
Yeah.
came this conversation about dating. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel, because we had touched on this,
Right.
because you asked the question, if we had met earlier, would we have liked each other?
No.
No.
Probably if I say it with my chest. Hell no.
That's very strong. You're gonna say what you
I
said.
mean,
Like that.
but we agreed that you wouldn't have liked me either.
I said I don't know.
No. You said I would have thought you were fine or cute or whatever, but I would have thought that you were very manly or aggressive or something. Like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
See, I remember.
A little bit on the aggressive side.
So hence, you would not have liked me.
But I don't know. I would have tried to get to know you at least a little bit.
Really?
I just want to say I don't like you because you're aggressive.
And I'm an AKA, and you said you don't like AKA, so you wouldn't have liked me.
I definitely want to like you. You told me that at the last minute. That was some sick stuff.
What do you mean the last minute?
Last minute. Oh, by the way, I'm an AKA.
Was that really going to change how you interacted with me? Like, the letters don't make me, I make the letters.
Yeah, very few women think like that.
I mean, that's just the truth.
That is the truth.
Okay. I'm sorry.
That is the truth. And so.
So with that, you at the end of the day, I'm glad we met in the season that we met. It's a very interesting season, but we're here.
What do you mean very interesting? What's that mean?
I mean, we have both done a lot of growing and stretching to get to this point in life. Had some, I would say, some little T dating traumas.
Oh, a lot of T on my end.
What I mean by that, like some people might not think of them as big T traumas, but I would consider them traumas nonetheless.
Oh yeah, I would definitely. Because dating stories, we made each other laugh with these.
We did. It was
real life dating stories.
Yeah, we should write a book about that.
We should.
We should.
We definitely should.
That was very interesting.
In light of the dating stories, we're going to talk about and give advice on dating 101.
Yeah.
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 So that's what this episode is about. And this episode is for single and married people. So don't think that you're not going to be included if you're married. And don't think that if you're married, you still don't have to date, because you do.
You do.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You do. So, who knows how to date?
It depends on what you mean by dating.
Yeah.
Look, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it already. Yeah. What we got, CC?
Little T, like thinking a cookie is a chocolate chip. It's an oatmeal raisin. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That makes sense. It makes sense. Small stuff.
Yeah.
That come into play. But again, we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. All right. Let's get into it. Let's get into this dating relationships 101. Things you should.
Actually the blueprint.
The blueprint. The blueprint for dating 101, at least in our eyes. You know, we put together this list for research and things like that. Mm-hmm. And we need you guys to listen and pay attention, because honestly, it's going to ruffle some feathers.
Always does.
And we like that part. Let me share this screen.
Right.
We got a series. It's going to be a series. I keep clearing my throat. I'm sorry.
I know. Please. Okay. Let you clear your throat.
Get that.
Yeah. Let the horns come in.
Right. Blueprint for dating part 1. All right. So this is the beginning. This is before you start worrying about where to go eat, where to do this, where to do that. This is more like a self-reflection, getting you ready for the dating process. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's why it's part 1.
Right.
All right. Let's jump right into it.
Yep. So with this, I had to start here. because we have, people who will give us some what they think is sage advice, and it is crap advice.
Really be crack cocaine advice.
And so, in this world of like dating and getting to know people and things of that nature, what are some of the things or that people have told you about dating? What's some of the best and the worst advice given?
I guess the worst advice after post marriage or post divorce, the worst advice was modern women are, I guess, since modern women want more or something, I can't remember exactly what he was saying. It was a friend of mine. He was saying, since modern women want to be treated like men, you might as well treat them like men if you want to date. And I'm like, that sounds like you're telling me I just need to be gay.
Right.
Or get used to being in a gay feeling relationship since this modern woman acts masculine and it's two masculine things,
Right.
And it's a lot of bad dating advice, like, be prepared to go to the bathroom and never come back. Play like you're gonna meet her in a parking lot, but don't tell her what car you drive, just in case she ugly, you can drive off. They've been a whole bunch of dating advices that have been out there. However, the best dating advice that I got was just make sure you're in love with yourself first. That was it. Make sure you love yourself first, just in case rejection comes along. You love yourself enough to deal with the rejection.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The worst I got was the best way to get over someone is to get under somebody else.
I've heard that. Is that something they just tell women?
I don't know. I guess, you've heard it. So maybe, I don't know. But that is horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah, that's horrible advice.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
I guess, again, the best would be like, take time for you.
Yeah.
Take time for you.
Take time for you is solid advice.
Yeah.
And I think take time for you is kind of like love yourself, because they were telling me from a point of being prepared for heartbreak or disappointment because women are more aggressive nowadays.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Cece says the worst dating advice is don't be so independent or else a man won't feel needed. How is that the worst?
I mean, there's a way to gauge that. Like that wording is horrible.
What wording?
Don't be so independent. There's a thing is codependence. There's interdependence. And so as a woman dating, you need to find your groove in that, what independence looks like. And then when you are dating someone, what independence looks like. So it's finding your way. It's not a one size fits all kind of thing.
Okay.
So yeah.
Learn me something. It sounds like it's saying don't be so masculine or else he won't feel like he's.
Now that's different to me. To me, that's and I think whenever we say, and if you understand, a lot of people are triggered with masculine and feminine. And when we're talking about that energy and what energy looks like, you were talking on your show and you did a clip with Iyanla. And a lot of Black women aren't taught feminine energy. We are taught masculine energy.
I ruffled so many feathers with that yesterday.
I mean, but it was necessary.
It was necessary, yeah.
And so understanding what feminine energy feels like, that's like saying, you know what? Truffles are really good and you don't even know what a truffle is.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that even though you're feminine or a female, you don't know what the essence of femininity is because you have not really learned that. So, yeah.
Right. Best advice, you need to know you so you can know what boundaries and ironclad versus negotiable.
Very good. Okay. Very good. I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Because like everything, I've seen people like, they got to have this and they got to have that. And da. But number one, are you bringing that? And number two, are there non-negotiables and negotiables on that list? Or is it all like, it's this or nothing?
Yeah.
So just something to think about. Like that, Sierra.
Okay.
Sierra is cooking already.
Yeah. All right.
Already.
So let's jump into it.
So, one of the things, going back to what I just said about our list, right? I've talked to lots of folks and they're like, they have to be making this amount of money. They need to be this tall. They need to have this kind of education. So I kind of wanted to break this down and talk about what actually is.
Mm-hmm.
So I did the average, quote unquote. Now, when I say average, I'm not saying like some raggedy dude. Like I hate when people think when I say average.
Word association.
No, I'm saying like in the middle, the norm. Because a lot of things, when we look at the bell curve,
right,
in that middle section, not the tail ends, we're looking, look at me, Sierra. I'm doing all of these scientific, mathy kind of things. Look at me. So in the middle, right? Those folks, there is nothing wrong there. So average Black man, average Black woman. So I went ages 25 to 45, right? So the average Black man, the height, 5'9".
I'm 5'10".
Okay, but what you trying to say? You above average? What?
For the height. I'm above average.
Okay. Then the average height for Black women is 5'4".
Midgets.
You know what? That is not a midget. Stop it. Well, and the reason why I said this was because, like, a lot of people, for men, it's like, I need them to be 6 foot. Okay, the average height of a Black man is 5'9".
Right.
So what if that man is 5'9 and a half, or 5'10, or 5'8"? Just saying. Okay. Average weight, which I don't think we do a lot of. I don't know. I'm gonna leave that alone. Weight 190 to 202. For women, it's 195 to 210. Okay, a little thicker. That's okay. But there have been some conversation about how small women need to be, and fat shaming and all that. Okay. Income. The average income for Black men is between $45K to $75K. And for women, it's $38K to $65K.
I'm still average.
You know what? If
I'm going by this thing,
you're not,
which is legitimate, I'm average.
Whatever.
When I met you.
Okay. When you met me. Okay. Okay. When you met me.
Right.
Okay. Education. This is the thing, I think, which is, we talk a lot about this, and typically men aren't really caring. They may applaud you. Good job for matriculating and graduating.
Right.
Most of us, about 88% of Black men have graduated from high school. And then 23% of them have a bachelor's degree or higher, about 23%. Okay. Then with women, 90%. So just a little bit more high school education. And then 25% bachelor's degree or higher, just a little bit more. Okay.
Deep.
Okay. And then some considerations for employment, like men typically face higher unemployment rates, rates with lower pay with higher paying jobs, right? They are more likely to be discriminated against and underemployed. So they are way overqualified for a job, but they typically don't get those jobs. Anyway.
Okay. And what about women?
Women often face a wage gap compared to white men, of course, earning approximately 61 cents on the dollar. Okay.
So are they really getting the bag like they say they are? No.
Okay. I'm just saying, I mean, even if you look at the average income, it shows the disparity there.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
And for me, in my mind, I'm like, let's go to the middle. You know, put your 50,000 together with her 50,000, and you got 100,000, and you work it. However, to increase it, you know. But that's just my thinking. But we're not even there yet. So, any thoughts about that, babe?
You know, it says a lot. It questions what women are really, modern women are really saying when they say they a boss bitch, they get the bag, they get the money, and statistics don't show that they actually do still. It does show that they're catching up.
They are.
Yeah.
Slowly.
Yeah, it shows that they're catching up, but even in positions of power, they're still underpaid simply because they're black.
I mean, it's $10,000 difference on the high end. 10,000. So I'm working just as hard and making less.
Yeah.
Cray.
Yeah. What do you guys think about this? This says a lot. I just want to get your guys' opinion. What do you think about this? This dynamic right here on average. Do you think a lot of people think average based on word association just simply means bad?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want no regular dude.
But you regular.
Wait. But I think with social media, we all feel like we're superstars. You know, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, social media has inflated the actual market value of men and women to a point where it's just ridiculous. It's inflation. That's not their real value. But go ahead.
Right. So then some other thing. Nope. CC. What's CC saying?
Oh, okay. CC, what'd you say, girl? When you factor in the fact that a lot of times the same things for us black persons cost more than it would cost Caucasian people. To also be making so much less just shows how significant. Yeah.
Disadvantaged we are.
Disadvantaged we are, she continues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true.
Yep.
But the pressure's put on men. We got to make the bag.
You got to provide.
Y'all just out here winning lotteries every day.
You got to provide.
I get it. You know, you got to provide.
But provision is a twofold thing. Like, so when we met, I was providing for me and you were providing for you.
I was providing for myself. Yeah.
And your baby girl, our baby girl.
Yeah.
And so it's not just a you come along and now you got to provide for me. Yeah. It's we figure out how we provide together with each other.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't think people look at that. So can we go to the bigger one, babe? I'm sorry. So the other things to consider. So for every 100 black women, there are 93 black men.
In our favorite dog.
It is a little bit like, I think some people have this scarcity mentality. I think one time, and this is in the United States, right? In other areas, of course, there may be like the ratio is different. I remember when I was in my 20s, 30s, like Chocolate City, DC was like 1 to 10. Yeah. It was so ridiculous. Yeah. Right. And so there are other like Atlanta, we hear about that as well. But if we're talking about the United States, right, it's for every 100 black women, there are 93 black men. Right. And there are lots of different reasons for that. Okay. Mortality rates for black men, right? Because of systematic oppression and violence that happens to them. Health disparities. More black men are dying alone and choosing that, which is, that's on them.
Choosing that.
Right.
Yeah.
And research states, I'm going off a little bit, black men are typically healthier when they are married. Why do you think, baby?
I don't know.
Because we're like, baby, we got to go to the doctor. Baby, you got to do this. Baby, you got to do that.
Did you check the stress level statistic of a black man when he married? Yeah.
But you are healthier because you know when something's going on, like the prevention stuff.
Okay.
That's what we're talking about. But anyway, I got off. Let me get back on. Health disparities, including like stress and other like hypertension, those things. And then incarceration rates are definitely still a thing for Black men.
Yeah.
And being offset for the Black community. So then there's interracial marriages, right? So let us just say we talk a lot on this podcast about Black love.
Yes.
However, comma, you love who you love. Love is love. Listen, you love who you love.
As long as they're not animals or children.
You know what? True. Okay, yeah. You're right. We need to throw that.
Got to put that out there. We all support that.
So we are not saying we're only pro-Black relationships. That's not what we're saying. We're emphasizing Black relationships because we are of African descent.
And we know that Black people in our community, for the most part, if you look at the statistics of relationship and or marriage, we have the worst statistics. So that's why we focus on Black relationships.
However, we do know that anyone and everyone can benefit from the information that we are giving.
That is correct, because this is not a one size fits one ethnic group kind of thing.
It is not. Okay. So, okay. But we do want to talk about the rates of interracial marriages. They're higher for newlywed Black men at 24% compared to newlywed Black women at 12%.
So we dipping in the snow bunnies, huh?
You know what, sir?
I'm just saying.
I don't think it's just that. I think it's inclusive of all nationalities and races, cultures.
Got it.
Okay.
All right.
Then lastly, there's been an intellectual and emotional awakening in the Black community.
Yes, there has.
Specifically, mental health is trending for Black men.
Yes, there
it
has.
is. Yeah. So they are like saying, you know what? It's time for me to get help. It's time for me to go talk to people about the things that I've experienced, little T and big T things, right?
Right.
And although Black women tend to, and women in general in the world, tend to seek out services more frequently. When men choose services, their level of commitment, they have a higher level of commitment. Okay.
Why is that? Because there's women that's searching for the services, recognizing they need help, recognizing they want to do something, but men's commitment is more? Yes. Okay. Why?
Yeah. You're asking me why. I think when it's time, it's time.
Yeah.
That's it. I think with women, it's in, out. Like they come into services and then it's a lot. So they may back up from it. That's just my personal opinion.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I think.
Okay. Do you think that men are just more committed because they rarely do it in the first place?
I think so. And there's money involved.
Oh, yeah. Well, there is money involved.
I think there's money. They're like, oh, no, we're wasting this money and time on this.
Yeah, we ain't going in if we ain't going in.
There.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So that's very interesting, though, because they would say Black men and Black women, well, Black people, but they really meant Black men, don't go to a therapist.
No.
Yeah.
No, Black people typically don't, but mental health is trending right now. I said 10. There's not 10.
There's not 10?
No.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. I forgot to change the number.
Just miscounted. That's all right. We'll skip past it.
Okay.
All right. So let's go in to this right here because this is very important. What are we looking at?
So this is the keys, right? If you want to start dating, here's where we start. Number 1.
This is going to hurt.
Are you ready to date? Like, seriously.
Let me drink.
Go ahead, drink. Drink. Like, really, have you really thought about, and most people don't I'll raise my hand.
Yeah.
At one point in my life, I was just dating, just to be dating. I didn't think about that. I was just out there. This is what it was. I'm just saying.
I thought about it.
So at one point in your life, you weren't just like, I'm out here in these streets.
Oh, I was in the streets, yeah, after the divorce. But I felt like I was ready to date because I had already checked out so long from the divorce that I had put that, like, even before I left physically the divorce or physically my ex-wife and the household and stuff like that, I was checked out about a year prior to that.
I'm just talking about, period. Have you ever had a time in your life where you were just like, I'm just out here doing whatever?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, thank you.
Definitely.
I was like, you just, every time you were just like, I'm thoughtful about what I'm doing.
No, I'm trying to clap some cheeks.
Okay, thank you. So we want you to really think about, are you ready to date? Right? And so some of the questions that you may need to ask yourself, have you or are you healing from your past traumas?
You know, some people don't believe they have past traumas, or they believe that they got over it super quickly. Like it really didn't affect them, men and women.
Yeah.
Okay. But that old saying that you said, to get over somebody is to get under somebody.
Yeah.
Some people think that heals their past traumas because to them, that trauma is that person. So if they're not dealing with that person anymore and they're dealing with somebody else, automatically the trauma's healed.
All right.
Right.
We talked about attachment styles not too long ago, and we were talking about how we learn attachment styles in our childhood and we act them out in our adult relationships. So if you're saying that this person that you just had a relationship with, they are your trauma, and you're not looking back, you're not seeing the root of your trauma. You may have just been triggered, which is number 2. Or do you know, recognize, and address your triggers?
Ooh, that's a hard one.
That is.
Because to recognize your triggers for some men and women, it means you have a weakness. That person, if that person can trigger you, right, to them, before they go through the process of realizing what the triggers is, they think that that person has a what over, like a hold over them.
You know, or they know where the magic button is.
Right, the button to press. Yeah. And they can press that button, and that makes them weak because they react to the button pressing. Right.
And that's not it. It's really knowing you and your history of, and I'm not just talking about dating history. You need to know your life. Like I said, these things have played out in your growing up, in your childhood, in your young adulthood. Yeah. So what are the things that have played out that have affected you negatively? Okay. Then do you practice self-soothing? People like what?
Yeah.
Self-soothing.
Yeah. You got to know what that is. Right. But then you got to practice it on a regular basis so you can maneuver through your triggers, right?
So just a little information, self-soothing, what we are taught typically is to go out for things, right? Whether it's people, places, or things. Right. That's how some people develop, I'm sad, I'm going to eat a pint of Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Or I'm going to go and sleep with somebody. Yeah. Or whatever, I'm going to go across seas and just, thinking that I'm just getting away from stuff. Right. Right. That's not soothing you. That's running from. That's avoidance. Right. Soothing is when you come in to you and you address those things. Right. Yeah. So, and lots of people don't tell you how to do that. Like that's not something that we typically learn. Then, do you know how to utilize conflict resolution?
No. No, they don't.
That's a big one.
Yeah. They don't. Because at the end of the day, the reason we put it in this order is because it goes downward. Because if you go upward, as far as what we have, if you know how to utilize conflict resolution, that means you've addressed and recognized your triggers. You see what I'm saying?
And healed from your traumas.
And healed from your traumas, right?
So I probably should have started at the bottom.
No, it's good. It's good. But a lot of people do not know conflict resolution.
No,
they don't. They're not aware of it. They're like, yeah, I know what a conflict is, but a resolution is when they on the ground knocked out.
Right.
Yeah.
And so somebody, interestingly enough, in the women's group, somebody asked me, how do you practice self or conflict resolution when you're single? Oh my gosh, you interact with people all day long, right? So I know you might feel differently about this. There are Karens, there are people who get on your nerves. Like, how do you resolve conflict? Now, some people just gonna be who they are,
right.
But you still have to know how to walk away. You have to know how to handle the situation. Right. So that's how you handle conflict resolution with your family, with your friends, with strangers, with work folks.
Right.
All of that.
Okay.
Do you know you?
And would you date you?
Yep. That's the one right there.
A lot of people, again, would not date themselves because they know how they really are.
My favorite one. Oh, I'm a handful. God is still dealing with me.
Well, God need to deal with your ass at the church or something because you don't need to be out here trying to date.
You know what?
Talking about God needs to.
He's still dealing with me.
He's still working on me. I'm a work in progress.
We all are work in progress, but that just means that you need to work.
Why don't you finish loading and finish the progress before we get into this situation?
And that's just number one. All the things you need to consider before you actually go out and date.
Right. Number two, be you.
Be you. So the reason why this one is really important is because I hear this all the time. I can't give them me, until we like 6 months in. I don't need them to know me. Who they know then?
But you want to know them.
So it is definitely you showing up.
Right.
Fully you.
Right.
If you've taken the time to get to know all about you, what you like, what you don't like, all of those things, live in your true and authentic self.
Right.
Don't make somebody shrink you because that's what it is.
Yeah.
And the more you are you, the more you will find out about them. And if it is okay to be you with them. And if it's not okay for you to be you with them, you don't need to be with them. That's just so simple to me. So
a lot of people don't like themselves. So that's why they say that.
All right.
I'm not gonna give them me. Girl, you don't like you. That's why you're not gonna give them you. You gonna wait to reel them in, right?
Yeah, blah.
And then blah, this is me. You can't run now. We got kids or we in relationships. Yeah. You don't want to give them you because you don't like you. That's what it really is.
Well, during this time, I'm inviting people to lean into going out, making friends, male and female.
Very possible to do both.
Male and female.
Join a group.
Platonic friends. You don't have to be doing nothing with people. Yeah. Like you said, join a group, travel to a new destination, have fun, experience life. From what I'm told, this is the only one we get, right?
Only one.
So you better live it.
Better live your life.
If you would date you.
Yeah.
And if you would not date you, go back to step one.
Go back to step one.
This is when you're creating the relationship blueprint for potential partners. So all the things that you like, don't like, all of those things.
Yeah. Get to know people. That's what we were talking about recently. Get to know people. Dating refers to the process by which people explore their compatibility, and potential for a romantic relationship. This typically involves social activities, communications, and spending time together to determine if there's mutual interest and connection. This is where we utilize your relationship blueprint, right? So you got to date, and you can date more than one person at the same time.
Please do.
Oh my gosh. Stop acting like you got to date one person at a time because you're not in a serious relationship.
No.
Yeah.
No. So this is where you're like looking at the potential, like, is this even possible? Do I really like them or do I just think they fine?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Do we have similar values, interests, goals? Do I like their personality? Do we have a connection?
Right.
Life experiences. What was the dude that was getting out of prison or whatever? Not, there's nothing wrong. People go to prison or jail for whatever reasons. I'm not knocking this, but people were like, "Oh, they so fine. I'll take care of them." I'm like, you don't even know you like that person. You don't.
It doesn't matter. He just unalived 2 people, which is why he went into prison, and he was there for domestic abuse. But because he is fine,
He's so fine.
Yeah, you don't. It don't matter.
No, man.
Question says, what about young men and women that are widowed? Can you address that for dating?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So it's the same thing. If you're widowed, right, or you meet somebody who's widowed, if you love yourself and you went through that first part and you love yourself, you should know how to handle that approach, because you'll know if they're ready or not to date. Because some people who are widowed do not want to get out here, and if they do get out here, they're not ready to date. So you got to know how to approach that situation. That widowed person may be a good friend for now, and that's all they can give, even though you're ready to do something else like date, see potential compatibility.
Mhm.
But because they're widowed, you have to understand where they're at and respect where they're at, and then start with friendships if they want to be friends, and then nurture it from there, because it still may turn into something as it is. If you're widowed, you have to get out there and literally, as the white folks say, get back on that horse.
I encourage folks to also go through the grieving process.
Yeah.
I think some people like try to go through it so quickly, and they don't take the time to pull back, understand them, what the loss has caused them, and grieve that person. And when you do that, then respectfully, you can put that to rest and move on to a different chapter in your life. A lot of times people try to hold on to their deceased partner and then move forward with a new one.
Yeah.
That's not gonna work.
We have a client like that.
We still got pictures of the deceased person in the home, and no, it's been 20 years, and we can't do that.
Yeah.
We can't do that. So really taking the time, again, going back to step 1.
Yeah.
Do you know you? Have you healed from your trauma? Because that is part of it.
Are you ready, basically?
Right.
Yeah.
And so you have to go through that process of loving on yourself, giving yourself time and grace and understanding, and dating you again, like understanding what that is. Like if that person, especially if that person has been in your life for 20 some odd years, like respecting that, but also giving yourself time to grow and stretch in this new season in your life.
I think people, when they are widows, they don't think they can find love again because stepping outside of their comfort zone of what they used to is not there anymore.
Right.
So they feel naked.
Yeah.
You know, then that's the point of getting to know you and getting to experience life again and getting back to just living, you know, because you don't know people. Oh, I'll see him again in heaven. He may be in hell. You don't know. We got a call?
Sorry. No.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
But anyway, people don't understand that as a widow or dealing with widows, that until you get through the grieving process, you're going to have to get back out there, and you can find love again, no matter what age you're at, because you're still living and you still have love to give. So don't give up. Find that, take the time to heal, go through the grieving process, and then get back on that horse.
And that was Mom. Thanks for the question, Mom.
Date people. Seriously.
Right.
Seriously. My thing is date no more than 3 people at a time.
Right.
3 people at a time. And dating does not mean sex. So you don't have to have sex with people. Okay. You can date people at a time until you figure out which one works with you, and then interchange that out and so forth. Okay. Dating, people have this weird thing like they have to date one person at a time.
I think there's a lot of people who do like body count and shaming. Like I know we've had this conversation before around body count, but people are like, oh, if you are dating more than one person, you're just out here being a thought. And to me, that's kind of a red flag. Like, because if we are just dating, why are we concerned about if I'm having sex or not? Like, that's my personal business. And I can tell you, I can be honest with you and say, yes, I'm having sex. No, I'm not. But you're not going to judge me for what I'm doing in my life because I'm not going to judge you. Right. So I think that's where that comes specifically for women. Right. In this
men are looked at as hoes if you out here. Because I've had a couple of women say, if you're not paying attention to me and only me during the dating phase, you're out here doing something that you're not supposed to. And I'm like,
that you're not supposed to?
We're not monogamously dating. And that's the thing. Monogamous dating. Okay. If you're dating, you're dating. You're out here trying to find the one you can be monogamous with and take the dating phase a little bit further. Now, a lot of people don't realize or don't want to realize, and they want to be the center of attention so bad to control everything. They'll tell you stuff like, oh, if you're dating me and somebody else, you could just forget it, or you're out here being a thought, you're out here got a whole lot of women, you're not serious and this and that. You don't have time to give one person your attention just for them to waste it. Okay. Right. Dating is dating. There's a difference between dating and finding somebody to monogamously date.
Or be in a relationship.
With. That means you've agreed that I'm going to cut off my dating and I'm going to move up a phase and go into just dating you and be in a relationship with you.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I encourage people to date multiple partners. I would say no more than 3 or 4 at a time, because then it kind of gets difficult. But hey, if you're in the meeting phase of folks, have at it. Like I know several people, I did this, several first dates, first date, last date.
There's nothing wrong with first dates. I mean,
it is not. There's nothing wrong with last dates either.
Definitely not wrong with last dates. Nothing wrong with half dates either.
True. This is not working out for me right now. You
got to get up out of there.
Right.
I think the words expressed sometimes whilst dating feels more serious than or monogamous. That's because that's been socialization.
Yeah.
A lot of people do not know how to date.
No.
They don't know that until you're monogamous with one person, you can't. That's why people get so heartbroken in the dating phase.
Yep.
Because the battleground and the rules of engagement were not drawn out. Meaning you didn't specify what you're going to be doing in this phase, or that person didn't specify what they're going to be doing in this phase. We have to be clear. And if you're not clear with that person and they know you're not clear with them, that leaves room for them to catch you off guard, or you can catch them off guard.
Right.
Because then you'll turn around and realize, oh, I'm not monogamous. We're not in a full-fledged relationship. And then you'll dip, or they'll turn around and do the same thing to you. Next thing you know, they're in a full-fledged relationship, and you like, I thought we were dating. And they was like, I don't see no ring on this finger, and I was never monogamous with you. When did we say we were boyfriend and girlfriend? Right. So in order to prevent that, this is where you got to go back to step 1. If you knew yourself and you loved yourself and you turned to yourself inward, you're more capable of setting standards and hard boundaries that say, this is what I'm doing during the dating phase. If this is for you, okay, cool. If not, there's plenty of other options out there for you to do. Okay.
Right.
But you have to set the ground rules ahead of time, and you have to be clear and upfront about the ground rules. Right.
I think one of the things that I've seen some of our male clients do that I don't see some of our female clients do, which I love, is if they have plans with themselves or their boys, they keep their plans with themselves or their boys.
Right.
But women, if a dude calls and they're like, oh, you got plans tonight? You want to do something? They're like, no, I don't have any plans. And they had plans to go hang out with their girlfriends or do something with themselves, and they cancel. I encourage you to make your boundaries.
Yeah.
Make your boundaries.
I understand. You be feeling them sometimes, or you be feeling her sometimes, and you hang out with your girls all the time, but this person's really vibing with you and you want to kick it and see where it goes. That's cool. Just don't do it all the time, because then you're going down the slippery slope, and that person knows it, who you're giving your time to and dating. That person knows it, that you're going down a slippery slope. And if they haven't set the rules of engagement with you, then they're going to lead you to a point where you're going to be heartbroken and upset later on, because you felt like they weren't honest with you. They out here talking to other women, and you fail to realize that you're not in a monogamous relationship with this person.
Now you're just at home, wait for the phone ring.
Right, and your girl's still going out. You could have went with your girls. Or your partner's still hanging out. You could have went with your partners, right? But you stuck on this one person and how they quote unquote did you, but you did not set the boundaries yourself, and you didn't ask to set the boundaries yourself.
Right.
A lot of people, I would surmise that a lot of people were not asking because they didn't want to rock the boat.
True.
They liked the vibe, they liked what was going on, and they didn't want to shoot themselves in the foot.
True.
You have to risk shooting yourself in the foot for understanding, because understanding is way more valuable to you and your time than assumption.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Understanding is always way more valuable in the dating phase to you and your time, something that you cannot get back.
Ever.
Your most valuable asset, a clear understanding of what the ground rules are as a man and as a woman dating, and what you set the ground rules are.
Right.
That's way more valuable as an understanding than an assumption.
Right. So real quick, if you date multiple people, it allows you to see different personalities, interests, relationship dynamics, what best suits you. It reduces pressure to quickly commit to one single person and allows for a more relaxed approach to finding a compatible partner, not just settling for whatever comes your way. Right. And then by dating multiple people, you can increase your chances of meeting someone who aligns well with your values and your goals. Again, not just settling for whoever comes next down the road.
Right, right. Number 5 is communicate clearly, listen, hear, and understand. Again, effective communication is a key component of dating. It involves sharing thoughts and feelings, expectations to understand each other better and to build meaningful connections. Share your intentions. Let me repeat that. Share your intentions. If they don't like it, so what? I don't care how fine she look. I don't care how much money you think he has. Until you share your intentions, you don't know if you align with their values and who they are as a person. Okay? And start with honesty, moving towards transparency in this situation. Right? Always be transparent. Always be honest. You ain't got to emote all over them in the first date, okay? Or when you're first on the phone.
No.
But let the conversation go smoothly. Be honest and call their bluff when you feel like they're not being honest.
I'm going to challenge people not to say this. I'm dating with a purpose.
Shit.
I understand that people are like, I want a relationship. I get that. But okay.
But at what cost?
At what cost? Thank you, babe. Thank you.
At what cost? So
that's why I encourage people, like this person, if you're trying to lock them down in the first, you don't even know them. You don't know them. All you know is they fine and their name. And they smell good.
And they drive this kind of car. They got this kind of status.
And we may have butterflies when we meet or whatever, and it's cute and all of that, but you don't know that person. Right. And your intentions may be like, yeah, down the road, I want to. My favorite thing, and I heard this and then I used it. I said, I want something that grows naturally into something more than just friends. I want it to grow into something naturally. I'm not making or forcing something to become.
Yeah, natural is the best way.
Yeah.
Natural growth is the best way. Mm-hmm. Ooh, this one gonna hurt. I'm gonna let you take this one.
Oh, Jesus.
Let this set in your spirit.
Pay attention to red flags. Oh, We done pissed off some people, baby, already.
It's okay.
It is okay.
It's okay.
I'm good.
Yeah.
So red flags are serious signs that indicate significant issues within dating. These signs often suggest that there may be fundamental problems that could be detrimental to that person's well-being. And if you choose to be with that person, it's probably going to be detrimental to you too.
or detrimental to you too.
Yeah. So red flags are real. And we watch Divorce Court quite a bit.
We do.
Right? And I do. I love Divorce Court. I miss Judge Lynn Toller, but I
shout out Judge Lynn Toller.
Hey, she gonna watch one day, I believe it. Anyway,
she gonna watch it.
Anyway, I like Star. Hey, Stars, my Sarah. But
Star be holding it down.
She does.
She be cooking people more than Judge.
She does.
Lynn Toller will cook you. You got to get on her nerve. But Star, she started out cooking. Yeah, she started out cooking. Yeah.
Hey, Sarah. Yeah. Anyway, what the reason why I bring Divorce Court up is you see some of the most toxic people who have had years of red flags, and Judge Star will say something like, "Well, why are we still together?" And what's the answer, baby?
Because I love him.
Every time. I love them so much.
Or here's the other one. Well, he is a good father, though.
I'm like, okay, that's great. But being a great father does not mean being a great partner.
Being a great father doesn't mean he didn't have to give you that RKO wrestling move before you came on Divorce Court.
Right. So in that, really paying attention to the red flags so you don't waste time. And that's the other thing we hear a lot. You know, I just can't leave because I have so much time invested. Oh, if you pay attention in the dating phase, you can exit stage left really quickly without putting in a month.
Let me say this.
Okay.
Because that like body count for you.
That's your one. That's your one. You got the joke.
I do. I try not to laugh.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Time invested is something that women say more than men most often.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. I got time with him. We got time invested. If your time invested does not equal a return on your investment, you have been wasting time.
Yes.
And you've been lying to yourself thinking that giving more time to something that you have not gotten a return on your investment is going to solve the situation.
Right.
Nobody cares about how much time you got invested with somebody. Just say it what it actually is. You're scared. You don't want to let go of the memories. You're probably scared he's going to do better off without you. You're probably scared he's going to give some other woman the kind of attention and respect and love that he should have been giving you, the ring, whatever the case may be. Just say that.
As soon as we break up, he going to go with her and be with her, and they going to get married, and they going to have kids.
And you know what? That's now her problem. If he don't change. If he do change, maybe you weren't the one that was inspiring the change like you thought you were, which is also a punch in the gut.
Yeah.
Because men, it's the same thing. Men, if she goes off and she's doing all this stuff that she never did with you, and she's flourishing and she's doing this and that, it's because you did not inspire her to change like that man that has her now.
True.
So at the end of the day, time means nothing. Time invested means nothing. If you don't have a return on that investment, and more time will not fix something that it didn't take the next person less time to obtain.
Or like time wasted.
Because you spent 4 or 5, 6 years with you, and all you got was a baby, and he spent 1.5 years with her, and she got his last name.
And investments and all the other things. Anyway, so yes. So some of the red flags: abusive behavior, Now, I asked this question, or we both asked this question in our practice. Abuse, whenever we say abusive behavior, oh no, I don't get hit. It's more than physical, it's more mental and emotional abuse. That's huge.
The mental and emotional abuse is more prevalent than the physical abuse. Let's just put that out there. The mental, emotional abuse from men and women while in relationships is more prevalent than physical abuse.
And yes, he said women because women can be and have been abusive.
Yeah, there's such thing as toxic femininity. I don't care if you get mad, you can say what you want to say. You can feel like you're a princess, but a lot of y'all women out here, y'all the devil. Y'all acting like the devil. Y'all doing stuff that shows toxicness, shows brokenness, and is giving all those kind of vibes that you swear only men give. Okay, it's on both sides of the coins. Right. Let's be real and call a thing a thing. Right. We too grown for that.
Yep. Lack of respect.
Which is something that a man will live and die by. If you want a man's love, a man will choose respect over the actual love that you have for him. Because for us, we value respect like you value love.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. Mm-hmm. Hypervigilance. Go ahead.
If that man is, or that woman is always looking for the other shoe to drop, and you not that person, and you know you are healed, and you're talking to them, and that man is always thinking you finna cheat, or thinking that woman is always thinking you talking to other women, and the slightest, that ain't the one. Let it go.
I saw you looking at them in McDonald's. What? Looking at who? What are we talking about? That was 30 minutes ago we were in McDonald's.
Babe, we in the drive-thru. I got to get the food. Talking about, I got to look this way to get the food. Nah, you over there making eye contact and stuff. She got our card. The card you gave me to give her. She got the. Okay.
Forget it. I'm done. I'm just done.
You tell that bitch. I said.
Wait a minute. What? Okay.
While she out here dropping fries, I'm gonna drop her ass next time.
Wow.
Wait a minute.
Hypervigilance. Right there.
Right.
Manipulative behavior. Oh,
this sets for men and women. Okay. Manipulation is manipulation across the board. Mm-hmm. Men do it, women do it. Okay. If you love yourself, you'll know when you are being manipulated. And when you see that you're being manipulated, that's a red flag. Do not ignore it. Right. Confirm it first. Don't just jump in and you trying to manipulate me.
Just really
confirm it.
Did I just hear you say?
Yeah, confirm it. Okay, verify it. And then if that's what it is, and you've come to this conclusion on multiple processes to try to see what it is, that's what it is. Yeah. It's manipulation. It's time to go.
Yeah. Isolation. Now, sometimes we can do this to ourselves. Remember, I just said, if you have plans with your friends, keep your plans, but also go out, but if you just isolated in the house, all your dates are house dates, and, you can't go nowhere unless it's with that person, and y'all are just dating, that's a red flag.
I don't know her. What you going over there with her for? I don't know her. She's been my friend since second grade. Right. I don't know that bitch. What you going over there for?
I just met you though.
Yeah, I just met you, but I've known her for years. Isolation.
Yeah.
He don't want to take you out in public because every time he take you out, he think other men are looking at you.
I saw that dude looking at your butt.
Isolation. Ooh. You talking about the same ass you was looking at that got me over here? What you talking about? Mm-hmm. Isolation. All right. She don't want you to go out with your boys because every time you go out with your boys, she think you really doing some other stuff. So she'd rather you stay at home. She'll start arguments, take your keys, move your phone, all kinds of stuff to get you to stay at home. Mess up your outfit. Definitely.
Crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Right.
Intense jealousy, which goes hand in hand with this isolation sometimes.
Right. And we skipped over chronic dishonesty.
Oh my gosh. How did we skip that? I'm sorry.
So intense jealousy and chronic dishonesty, I think, kind of go hand in hand, simply because if they're constantly lying to you about stuff that they have no reason to lie to you about, right? especially if you set the groundwork and the rules of engagement. They know exactly how you are, and you've opened the door to say, hey, listen, just tell me, let me decide what I want to do with that, and then we can go from there. There's no judgment, but I'd rather you tell me so I know what to do and how to move from this point on. Right? But then they constantly lie to you, and they're constantly lying about stuff they don't have to lie about. That's a red flag. Or they turn around and they're jealous for any reason whatsoever, just like the isolation, jealousy, right? Isolation. They feel like you're going to find somebody else better than them. And this is before you have even committed to them in a relationship.
In their mind, you belong to them.
Right. So you need to see that as a red flag and go ahead and moonwalk out of that situation with a peace sign. Okay?
Right. Disregard for boundaries.
They have set you have set these boundaries up. You have told them exactly what the rules of engagement is. You have said how you want to move, how you're operating, and they said, yeah, that's cool with me. And then they disrespect everything that you just said.
They just show up at your house at a certain time. They ain't call, they ain't text. And you're like, why are you here?
Habitual line stepping. You draw a line, they mess up over that line and then go over. Time for you to go.
That is so not cool. That's a big one for me. You don't just show up at my house. You'll be outside ringing the doorbell and knocking.
Shit, I used to kick women out at 12 o'clock.
You did. I never got that. I love that.
Yeah. At 12 o'clock. When I was dating, it's 12 o'clock. We can be in the middle of a movie. 12 o'clock, hugged up. I'm talking about I got one hand right here on the breast. Beep, beep, beep. What's that? Oh, shit. This girl's 12 o'clock. It's time for you to go. We ain't finished the movie. I said it's 12 o'clock. It's time for you to go.
That's a boundary.
That's a boundary. I got to work in the morning. I'm not finna stay with you because you want to spend time. We ain't even at that point. We just dating. It's 12 o'clock. Respect my place. It's time for you to go.
Love it.
Yeah.
And then threats.
Listen, I had a girl threaten me talking about she know where I live. She run this city.
I knew you were going to say that one. I run this city.
I know where you live. I run this city. And I was like, really?
Okay.
You just asked me for $20 in gas and $40 for a blunt, but you run this city. Okay. Okay.
So anyway, so these are red flags. Please pay attention. And when you see them, there are more, but this is a good list.
This is some core stuff that happens right away in the dating phase.
Yeah. Here's the last one that we're going to talk about tonight. Take off your cape. It is not your job to save everyone. Okay?
Some of y'all out here, especially women, y'all like these project men. And not project from where they live. I'm talking about you want to build a nigga so bad. You want to piece different parts of a nigga together. If he seemed broken, you figure you can just fix him and work on him and it'll be all right.
We just need to go to therapy. I've had several people like, I'm dating this dude. I just need to bring him to therapy and here you go. I'm like, no, here I go.
Yeah.
No, ma'am.
Here's my problem. Fix it.
Fix him.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Men too. Men don't look at it as project, but they look like you could save her. I could save her. She just need a real man in her life. She just needs somebody with some structure. No, she don't need you to save her, sir. She does not. She's working very well by herself.
Yep.
You don't need to build no nigga from the ground up. Okay. You need to work with him if he's working with himself. But you don't need to take no man and use him as a project of somebody that you can save.
At all.
Okay. It's not your job to save anybody but yourself.
But you. Yeah. Okay? So if you've done the work on you, you know it's not your job to save people. You can give them a resource and protect yourself. Right? Because if they are looking for you to save them, yeah, you give them a resource and move around.
Yeah, they're not ready to date. They're not ready to date you.
No, because you already know what it is. You got your blueprint. They can't fulfill the blueprint. And it might be like, oh my gosh, he's so smart. He's so fine. But I don't even suggest continue to be friends. I just don't, because to me, that's like you just hanging around waiting for them to get quote unquote better enough for you to be like, okay, now I can date you. No.
No, that man has to have the integrity, or that woman has to have the integrity, because a lot of people don't know what integrity is. Integrity is saying that I'm going to do right when nobody else is looking.
Correct.
For no reward, only but the reward of myself.
There it is.
That's not verbatim, but that's the gist of what integrity is. So don't wait around and say, oh, we still could be friends, because you lied to yourself. What you're doing is waiting for them to get themselves together so you can find the right time to where they meet that measuring stick and you can date them. If they were going to get themselves together, they need to get themselves together without the presence of you.
Yep.
That's integrity. And if that woman or man does not have that kind of integrity, that's not the person you need to be with. I'm so sorry, but it's just not.
Yep. So if you feel like you need to be saved in the dating process, please go back to step one.
Yeah.
You need to go back to step one. If you're like, oh, I need somebody to save me. Oh, somebody come and say, no, you need to save yourself. That's what needs to happen.
And if you're looking for a build a man or a build a woman, you need to go back to step one.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there's obviously something you missed while you up here trying to build somebody and save somebody and thinking that you're going to be the answer to their problems, and you don't even know what their problems are.
No.
Because some people are literally walking around just saying, oh, she just need a good man, or she just need a good man. He just need a good, woman in his life, and that'll change everything. And then you got with this man,
and you're like, oh my God.
And he done drug you through the mud and then some, and you like, I thought I was gonna change him. Yeah, no. He need to change on his own.
Yeah.
For himself. She needs to change on her own for herself. Okay, that's integrity. They need to do the work like you've done the work to get to a point where you're ready to date. That's how you know when you're ready to date, because you can spot stuff like this and say, you haven't done the work, I'm gonna catch you on the flip side.
Yep. So with all of this, because we did not really talk about date. We talked about dating this much.
Yeah.
Right. We're not in we're go out there, experience yourself, and then dip your toe in dating and watch them. As Judge Lynn told us, date them a little while and watch them. That's what you need to be doing.
Right.
But there are some fears that people have, some barriers. And they have to address those things, call those out. Yeah. I'm afraid that I'm going to be hurt. I'm afraid that somebody's going to use me. When you know yourself, you see those things coming and you can be like,
yeah,
nope.
That's the point of knowing yourself. Listen, whatever you fear about dating, when you know yourself, number one, those fears don't exist, because you know it comes a part of dating. Okay. Just because you know yourself, you love yourself, you've done the work, doesn't mean that you're not capable of still slipping up and one slipping through the cracks and you going through a situation. Okay. Doesn't make you a perfect. It just makes you less susceptible to take on the bull stuff that we just described in this situation. Okay. But also, if you're afraid of dating, even though you've done the work for yourself, you've taken time to heal, you've got your triggers down pat. If you're afraid to date after that fact, okay, then you shouldn't date at all. You should just stay loving yourself until you're ready to date. Because unfortunately, it's just dating's like any other job. When I was a cop, I had my police training officer. First day of academy, he said, if you don't want to get shot, stabbed, spit at, written up, arrested, ridiculed by the people you serve, and possibly put on TV or anything like that, if you don't want to go through a possible divorce, this ain't the job for you. Because being a cop comes with all of everything that I just described.
Right.
Even though you have done the work, right, and you love yourself and you're ready to date and stuff like that, going into the dating pool comes with everything we just described and then some, right? That's a part of the game. We're just trying to give you the tools and give you the knowledge to where you can heal yourself and be less susceptible or less easily taken by these different parts of the game. But you can't avoid it altogether just because you're healed, because again, it's a part of the game.
Right.
So if you're in the dating pool and you've healed yourself, know that these things could still come about. Okay? If you don't want those things, stay out of the dating pool and stay single.
At the same time, though, if you say, but I want to be with somebody, but I want to experience a partner, then this is what we say is the necessary evil.
Yeah.
Like, I think people feel like, oh, my first time out, I need to meet the person that I'm supposed to be with, and that's it.
Yeah.
It don't happen that way.
Yeah. And a lot of people also want to ask these questions that we tell them to ask during healthy conversations. They want to beat this person over the head. How many kids you got? What's your credit score? How you treat your mama? All these other questions that they beat people over the head with. And it's like, you're still afraid. You're trying to minimize the effects of something happening to you,
right,
when you should just let it flow.
There is no minimizing. That's the thing. You'll get to know that information.
Yeah.
Right. It's not asking somebody how you treat your mom. That's not a real, you're not going to, I don't think you're going to get a real response. You know that by the actions that person has.
There's a lot of real questions that you're going to ask somebody that they're going to lie, and that lie is going to go right over your head. And that's okay, because again, that some slip through. But if you keep paying attention and you keep loving yourself and keep dating other people and stuff like that, you'll catch them eventually.
And you might meet somebody else that actually lines up with something that you actually want in a relationship.
Right.
So, and that's why I believe we talk a lot about dating more than one person. Because if you were just dating this one person and trying to figure it out over 3 months, and then you're like, oh man, I just wasted 3 months. You could have been dating 3 people.
3 people. Casually, still having fun with yourself. Again, dating doesn't mean monogamy. Dating doesn't mean sexual activity. You can go on plenty of dates and get to know somebody without sex. But sex does come with it sometimes, because what? It's a part of the game.
You can choose what it looks like to you, though. You can have that conversation. You should know what your boundaries are, what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do. That's on you.
Setting that groundwork and being honest with yourself and being honest with the person that you're dating or that's entertaining your time. When you set those ground rules for yourself, they can either apply to them and subscribe to them, or they can just move to the left. It shouldn't be any skin off your back. Because at the end of the day, if they didn't respect the ground rules up front, they're not going to respect the ground rules later on.
At all.
Right. And that's why you have to know the ground rules and ask them. If they don't have ground rules for you and rules of engagement, meaning this is how I am going to move. If they don't have that for you now, they're not going to have it later on.
Yeah.
Right. So it's on both sides of the coin. We want you guys to be prepared, understanding, and have the tools to really get out here and date, because there are some phenomenal single people out here.
There are. We know several. We know several. I'm like, should we hook some people?
We probably need to start hooking people up.
Oh no, man.
That we need to add that service to our
matchmaking.
Definitely matchmaking, because we've seen too many good people who are ready to date but are still single. Right? They're doing the work, they're going out on dates, but they're still single. And we have a whole nother client list of people that we can really hook them up with.
We're like,
right? This may be good. Right.
So, but notice, so we're wrapping things up, but we didn't even talk about the types of dates to go on and all of that. We did that very intentionally. Right.
The reason being is because dating does not technically require a lot of money.
It does not.
Ladies, let's toxic ladies, not real women, toxic ladies. Let's just be honest. You too broke to go to the restaurants that you asking him to take you to. You probably haven't eaten that day. And that's why you're acting like you deserve to go to these restaurants that you couldn't normally go to on your own. Fellas, stop trying to show out. You ain't got to take her on the flyest date the first time, because now you're expecting something and you're expecting some return on your investment. And then you get mad when she don't call you back.
Right.
You get mad when she don't hit you back up, and you like, damn, I just spent $250 on this date.
And she got a to-go box for her children.
Right. She got a to-go box for her children, and she probably getting them cheeks clapped by the dude who just took on a coffee date.
What I'm saying to you is, if we go back to, and one of the main reasons why I put the average, and again, that word, please don't make it a dirty word. We're talking about the bell curve, the people who are in the middle.
Yeah.
If we're talking about average salaries and things of that nature, that's between 50 and 75K a year, depending upon where you live. Like, we're not in this economy. No, I'm not trying to spend $250 on a meal.
Listen,
I'm not. I'm fine with us going to coffee. I am. And I'm just getting to know you too. I don't have to eat. We could go walk. I'm good for that.
You know how many times I've been called clown and goofy because I wanted to go to a coffee date or go get yogurt or froyo or...
I think that's inventive.
You know.
I like that. You don't have to spend a lot of money. I think people tie dates to worth.
Yeah.
And that we need to unravel that. We need to unravel that, because your first date, this is getting to know who this person is. And the amount of money that they spend on your first date has no correlation with what kind of person they are. It just doesn't.
If he take you on such a fly date on your first date,
you just keep expecting higher and more.
Then when he snatched the rug from you and you like, what happened? Because you ain't giving no return on his investment. Fellas, if she looking for the highest date on the first date,
that's a red flag.
That ain't the one for you, fam. She ain't even got that kind of money to take herself there. If she got to say, "Ooh, I never been here before. This fancy," she ain't.
Stop it. Stop it. One of the things, again, we've been socialized to believe a lot of things about a lot of things, and this pursuit. Remember we talked about this pursuit? Like I've talked to a lot of women and they're like, you should not ask someone for a first date. I'm like, why? Why not? If you are confident in yourself and you would like to go on a date with this person, why not? Ladies, I'm just not going to do that.
Ladies, let me tell you something. Stop trying to be old school and be modern at the same time. It's killing y'all. It's killing y'all. If you paid attention to the first part of what we were talking about, the ratio of men to women in this country is favoring men. That means there are less men and way more women that have to compete for less men. So it's 2024, about to be 2025. If you don't open your mouth and say, hey, you want to go on a date?
I do.
You mind if we go on a date? You mind if we hook up sometime and just get out and about to the mall or whatever? Ask that man on a date. That doesn't lessen your value. That doesn't make you thirsty. That doesn't make you undesirable. That makes you very much in tune with what you want. That puts you in a position that said, I'm not asking you to go marry this dude, get on one knee and put a ring on it. But at the very least, ask him on a date, at least the second date.
Right. At least the second date. Right. If this man is like, hey, do you want to go out on a date and told you and took you somewhere? Let them know, hey, I'm interested. Do you want to go out on a second date? There you go. And so men want to know that they are desired too. I think we've been socialized, especially as Black women. Like we haven't been told about dating. And then we get to 27, you don't have a man or any prospects. They're like, you need a man. That man need to be taking you out, doing this, doing that, da, 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 da. And it's always associated with money.
Yeah.
Not actually substance of a person. And so there are lots of people in this country with money who have no substance.
A lot. And them the same people that these women be wanting, and then wondering why he still exercises his options. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of beautiful women out here. Natural beauty. Don't need no BBLs or nothing like that. Naturally fine, but still very ugly and broken on the inside. And you wonder why when you get with her, she's still exercising her options. You got to go for what you actually need instead of what you want.
Or what you've been socialized to want.
Yeah.
It's a socialization. Women have been taught it's the finance. Men have been taught it's the aesthetics. Mm-hmm. It's the aesthetic.
You got to find the good mixture of it. Like it is, finances are important. You don't want no bum dude. I get that. You don't want no overly inverted, breast augmented, nut loving herself female. I get it. Right? One titty up here, one titty down here. You don't want that, right? What you do want is something that can cook, something that can clean. You want someone that can protect. You want someone that can build. You want somebody that looks aesthetically pleasing to you on the eyes on both sides of the coin, right?
Both of those things, like same thing with men. You want a man who can cook too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
On both sides, right?
Ladies, if he can't cook, if his only version of cooking is the microwave, unless y'all both suck, then you can learn together. That'll be your way in.
Please right? Learn together.
Right.
Take the class together.
Together.
That's amazing.
Yeah, fellas, if she don't cook and her only thing is microwave, see if you could teach her. If she's not teachable, then that ain't the one for you. This has been very, very informative. This has been fun. But we got to get out of here.
We do.
Listen, you guys tune in. You guys have been doing so good, so well, so supporting of us. Thank you for getting our channel up to almost 150 authentic subscribers. Keep liking and sharing and keep people in tune with this channel, because this channel is going to be doing some more things. We're going to have more people come through. We're actually going to have interviews, even more so, on different podcasts or collectively. And we want to engage the audience. We're also going to be doing a special project that what we've been talking about that's actually going to try to be pitched to TV. So,
Love Out Loud.
Love Out Loud.
Mm-hmm. So we're excited.
LOL. Yeah. Yep. So definitely keep tuning in. Mm-hmm. Definitely check us out. Definitely support, right?
Definitely share.
And definitely share, like, share, subscribe. But also, most importantly, if you need somebody to talk to, if you need therapeutic services, if you know a friend that needs therapeutic services or life coaching services, or just some free material that could help them, man or woman, definitely visit our website, theobsidianluxgroup.com, right? And if you go on there, there's a lot of different things that are free for you to download, free for you to check out. You can sign up for different events and stuff that we have, as well as therapeutic services with myself or my wife, or both, because we do couples counseling, marriage counseling, pre and post, right? We do life coaching. Mm-hmm. We do sex therapy counseling. Mm-hmm. We do dating counseling. Mm-hmm. We do individual counseling, old, young, whatever the case may be. We do a lot of counseling. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, and we want to help people.
Yes.
All right. So definitely tune in to go to theobsidianluxgroup.com, right? If you don't know how to spell it, it's in that YouTube channel, spelled the exact same way, .com. Click on the links, check out, download some of the free material, and pass it along to somebody that may need some help, or just check it out for yourself.
Yep.
Right?
We're here to support you and help you get to where you want to go.
Right. Definitely. Yep. Definitely. All right. Well, I'm about to you need to do some steak or something.
Okay. I'm down. You love my steak.
I love your steak. Wait, we still talking about food?